of Sawm. Virtues from Hadith Sharif about fasting. And then Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah said that in fasting there is the overpowering of the enemy, Iblis, and he finds his root in our hearts through shahawat. The shahawat are the grazing field for shayateen. Like animals graze in pasture in the field, so if there is loss of pasture in our heart of shahawat, then shayateen continue to come and graze. But when we fast, we control our desires, then the roots of shayateen are blocked, limited. They can't find the way in our hearts. This is why Mashayikh mention the benefits of hunger. That when you stay hungry, like in the hadith, Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha was told by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, keep knocking on the door of Jannah. And she said, how can I knock on the doors of Jannah? And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, bil ju', by hunger. Because when you're hungry, you're knocking on the door of Jannah. So, the benefit of fasting is that we restrict the root of shaitan into our hearts. And when we do this, it's like we are helping Allah to help us. Meaning we are making the way easy for Allah to help us. And Allah said, in tansurullaha yansurkum, if you help Allah, Allah will help you. So you help Allah by restricting your desires, and Allah will help you by opening the doors of ma'rifat for you. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive for the sake of Allah, then Allah guides them on the right path. So, by doing this, we are opening the doors of ma'rifat, gnosis, recognition of Allah, knowing Allah. We are opening these gates for us. This is how he explained. He also said, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is with them. So when we change ourselves by staying hungry and thirsty, then Allah changes our condition as well. Now, heating on check you. Musannif Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi is now moving on to wajibat. He says, fil wajibat was sunan al-zahira wal lawazim bi ifsadihi. What are the wajibat of roza, sunnats of roza, zahiri, batini, and how does roza break? He mentioned some masail over here. Now we have to remember Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi is follower of Shafi fiqh. So maybe there might be few masail in which there is difference between the Hanafi research and the Shafi'i research. But we'll go over them. He writes, Ammal wajibatu zahira fasittatun. The zahiri wajibat are 6. Al-awwal muraqabatu awwali shahri Ramadan. To do muraqabah and keep a watch for the beginning of Ramadan. How do you keep a watch on that? وَذَلِكَ بِرُؤْيَةِ الْهِلَالِ. Seeing the crescent. Can you खुल रहा ना? हाँ तो कहीं नहीं. दरवाजा खुला था ना? ठीक है इंशाल्लाह. वाला हमद ने की दिए काजी के माहू आखिर और हीटिंग ऑन उठू तो इन्हें जा वो कराई दे ऊपर है. Muraqabatu awwali shahri Ramadan, and that is biruyatil hilal. Then if the hilal is hidden from the eyes, then complete 30 days of Sha'ban. Imam Ghazali says, وَنَعْنِي بِالرُّؤْيَةِ الْعِلْمُ. By seeing the hilal, we mean ilm. وَيَحْصُلُ ذَلِكَ بِقَوْلِ عَدْلٍ وَاحِدٍ. And this knowledge can be gained by one reliable person's information. Meaning Allah said, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. If you see the month, then keep roza in it. So seeing the month is by seeing the moon. Now Imam Ghazali is saying that seeing means ilm, knowledge. Not every person has to see the moon with his eyes. If one reliable person sees it and informs us, that should be enough. This is according to the Shafi'i mazhab. According to Hanafi mazhab, if the sky is clouded and one person sees it, then it would be accepted. But if the sky is clear, then one person's statement will not be taken. A Jamme Ghafir needs to be to see it. The reason is that when it's cloud, then maybe sometimes the cloud moves and suddenly the moon is sighted momentarily, and then another cloud comes and covers it. So if one person said, I saw it, he was there, then we take his testimony. But when the sky is clear and nobody is seeing it, and only one person is saying, I saw it, then Hanafi mazhab say, no, there is some doubt in there. So Ghazali, based on his Shafi'i mazhab, is saying, وَيَحْصُلُ ذَلِكَ بِقَوْلِ عَدْلٍ وَاحِدٍ وَلَا يَثْبُتُ هِلَالُ شَوَّالٍ إِلَّا بِقَوْلِ عَدْلَيْنِ احْتِيَاطًا لِلْعِبَادَةِ. Shawwal's moon will only be proven by two reliable persons because of ihtiyat in ibadat. Because Ramzan ibadat is going. So it's ihtiyat if you be a bit strict in seeing the Eid chant. Because Eid, everybody wants Eid quickly. So it's clear we have to be a bit careful about Eid chant. ومن سمع عدلا ووثق بقوله وغلب على ظنه صدقه لزمه الصوم وإن لم يقضي القاضي به فليتبع كل عبد في عبادته موجب ظنه. When a person hears a reliable person and he trusts his opinion and his statement, and he has the most overpowering thought that he's telling the truth, that he saw the moon, then fasting will become compulsory on him, even if the qazi does not decide according to that shahadat. So everybody in his ibadat will follow his ghalib guman, his overpowering thought. So if your friend said, I saw the crescent with my own eyes, but the qazi rejected it, he said, nope, you're not reliable. So that person who saw the moon of Ramzan, he will be fasting. And you trust him, then you will fast as well. Even if the qazi did not take his shahadat. This is Ghazali is explaining. وَإِذَا رُؤِيَ الْهِلَالُ بِبَلَّةٍ وَلَمْ يُرَ بِأُخْرَى وَكَانَ بَيْنَهُمَا أَقَلُّ مِنْ مَرْحَلَتَيْنِ وَجَبَ الصَّوْمُ عَلَى الْكُلِّ وَإِنْ كَانَ أَكْثَرَ كَانَ لِكُلِّ بَلْدَةٍ حُكْمُهَا وَلَا يَتَعَدَّى الْوُجُوبِ. If the moon was seen in a city and was not seen in another place, and between the two is less than two marhalas distances, then Sawm will be wajib on everyone. And if he is more than two marhalas, then for every city is their separate hukum, and the wujub will not exceed and go to others. Two marhala, one marhala, they used to have about 16 miles. So two marhala will be about 32 miles. Now, in those days, within this radius, information could be transmitted from one place to the other. There were no telecommunications in those days, and transport was maybe on horse or camel or other means. There was no other transports which we have today. So Imam Ghazali, according to Shafi'i mazhab, says that if it's within these two marhalas, in Shafi'i mazhab there are 5 aqwal on this. This is one of the calls, that within 2 marhalas you have to fast. If more than that, then every city will have their own hukam and wujub will not transfer to the other cities. However, in this day and age, we have the telecommunications and muwasalat. So if one place sees the moon and others follow that, then it is allowed. So there is no harm in there. If the community qazi decides that we take the ruyat of those people and they judge accordingly, we can't take their ruyat and follow that. Now, गड़बड़ सरबड़ दरोग बरगर्दने रावी, अगर कोई गड़बड़ करे तो उसके सर पे जाएगी, अल्लाह क़यामत के दिन उसको पूछेंगे, हमको नहीं पूछेंगे, क्योंकि हमको ये हुक्म है कि भाई रुयत की शहादत आ जाए तो उसको कबूल करके अमल करो. So we took the ruyat, we practice on it, our rosas will be correct inshallah. So this is first chapter about muraqabatu awwali shahri Ramadan, to observe the beginning of Ramadan and try and see the moon. If you can see it, by all means, mashallah. If you can't, then complete 30 days. And remember, a month cannot be 31 days. So a month can be only 29 or 30. It can't be 31, it can't be 28. So you have to go according to that. Asthani an-niyya. Wajibat zahira. Second wajib is niyat. When you keep roza, you have to make niyat. وَلَا بُدَّ لِكُلِّ لَيْلَةٍ مِّن نِيَّةٍ مُبَيَّنَةٍ مُعَيَّنَةٍ جَازِمَةٍ. For every roza, you have to make niyat at night, and the niyat should be clear, fixed, and firm. فَلَوْ نَوَىٰ أَن يَصُومَ شَهْرَ رَمَضَانَ دَفْعَةً وَاحِدَةً لَمْ يَكْفِهِ. If someone made niyat of keeping roza for the whole Ramzan at one instance, then that one niyat will not be enough. कि शुरू रमजान में नियत कर लिया, I'm going to keep the whole Ramzan roza, that won't be enough. You have to make niyat every day. And when you get up for sehri, you have to remember what tasahhuru fi Ramadana niyatun. Eating sehri in Ramzan is niyat itself. Because you're eating sehri because you want to keep roza. And where is niyat? On the tongue or in the heart? It's in the heart. So in your heart and mind, you know what you're doing. That's your niyat, should be sufficient. وهو الذي علينا بقوله كل ليلة ولو نوى بالنهار لم يجزه صوم رمضان ولا صوم الفرض إلا التطوع. From night you have to make the niyat. If someone makes niyat by day, then Sawm Ramzan and Sawm Farz will not be jaiz, only Nafil is jaiz. This is also according to Shafi'i Mazhab. Hanafi Mazhab says that even if you make niyat of Ramzan during the day, it will be jaiz. मिसालन कोई आदमी देर से उठा और सुबह सादिक के बाद फजर बाद उसने नियत की, तो वो कर सकता है नियत. तो इसमें थोड़ी तफसील है. गजाली अपने शाफी मजहब के हिसाब से ये कह रहे हैं. हाँ, वहुव अल्लज़ी अनैना बिक़ौलिही मुबय्यततन, that by night वलौ नवा सौम मुतलकन अविल फर्द मुतलकन लम युज्जिही हत्ता यनवी फरीदतुल्लाह अज़्ज़ वजल सौम रमज़ान वलौ नवा लैलत अश-शक्की अन यसूम गदन इन कान मिन रमज़ान लम युज्जिही फ़इन्नहा लैसत जाज़िमतन इल्ला अन तस्तनिद नियतहु इला क़ौलि शाहिदिन अदलिन वाहतिमालु गलतिल अदल औ किज़्बिही ला युब्तिलुल जज़्म औ यस्तनिदु इला इस्तिस्हाबि हालिन कश्शक्की फ़िल लैलतिल अख़ीरति मिन रमज़ान फ़ज़ालिका ला यमनउ जज़्मन नियति औ यस्तनिदु इला इज्तिहादिन कल महबूस फ़िल मत्मूरा इज़ा गलबा अला ज़न्निही दुख़ूलु रमज़ान बिइज्तिहादिही फ़शक्कुहु ला यमनउहु मिनन निय्या वमहमा कान शाक्कन लैलत अश-शक्की लम यनफ़अहु जज़्मु निय्यति बिल्लिसान फ़इन्न निय्यत महल्लुहा अल-क़ल्ब वला युतसव्वरु फ़ी जज़्मुल क़स्द मअ अश-शक्क कमा लौ क़ाल फ़ी वस्ति रमज़ान असूमु गदन इन कान मिन रमज़ान फ़इन्न ज़ालिका ला यज़ुर्रुहु लिअन्नहु तरदीदु लफ़्ज़िन व महल्लु निय्यति ला युतसव्वरु फ़ी तरद्दुदुन बल हुवा क़ातिउन बिअन्नहु मिन रमज़ान वमन नवा लैलन थुम्मा अकला लम तफ़सुद निय्यतुहु वलौ नवत इम्राअतुन फ़िल हैज़ थुम्मा तहुरत क़ब्ल अल-फ़ज्र सह्ह सौमुहा. ये कुछ मसाइल बयान कर दिए हैं, इनमें लंबी चौड़ी तफसील है. बस वो नियत का खुलासा ये है कि रोज़ाना की नियत करना ज़रूरी है. रमज़ान का दिन है, पक्का मालूम है कि यू नो दिस डे इज़ रमज़ान डे, यू मेक नियत, दैट्स सफिशिएंट. some little bit of masail in there. Agar kisi ko shak ho gaya, so if it's yawm shak, then you can't keep roza with shak. Like you have doubt whether it's 30th Shaban or 1st of Ramzan. Then you have a dilly attitude. If it's Ramzan, then it's Ramzan. If it's not Ramzan, then Nafal. You can't do that. You have to be certain in your niyyat, jazim. If in the middle of Ramzan, you say, okay, I'm fasting Ramzan or Nafil. If it's Ramzan, I'm fasting. You can't do that because it's Ramzan. So it's the 15th of Ramzan, it's middle of Ramzan. This niyyat taraddud will not have any effect. If a woman got parked from haiz at night and she made niyyat and then she got parked before Fajr, her roza is correct. If she got so much time in which she could do ghusl and then start her roza, then that's sufficient. The niyyat will be okay and she is able to keep the roza. So we've covered two things. Number one, you have to observe the month of Ramadan and check it carefully, and the month has started. This is lazim, necessary. Number two, niyyat. You have to make proper niyyat for the Ramzan roza. Number three, al-imsaku an isali shay'in ila al-jawfi amadan ma'a dhikri as-sawm fayafsudu sawmuhu bil-akli wal-shurbi wal-su'uti wal-huqna. Withholding oneself from letting anything reach the inner part of the body deliberately whilst remembering the Sawm. So the Sawm will be fasid by eating, drinking and snuffing some medicine and applying enema to the back passage, because these things take something into the cavity of the body, so it will break the roza. Eating, drinking, snuffing some medicine or huqna. ولا يفسد بالفصل والحجامة والاكتحال وإدخال الميل في الأذن والإحليل إلا أن يقطر فيه ما يبلغ المثانة. Roza will not be fasid by fasd, bloodletting. But when you check your diabetes, you take your blood out, doesn't break your roza. Well, hijamati, cupping. You go to someone for cupping, blood is taken out, doesn't break the roza. Well, iktihali, surma. You apply surma on your eyes, no, it doesn't affect your roza. Even if you feel the taste of the surma in your throat, doesn't matter. Wa idkhalul mili fil udhuni, and inserting something inside the ear, like the earbud, and you clean your ear, it doesn't break your roza. Well, ihlili, or something in the hole of your private part, like sometimes you have to insert catheter or something. Illa an yaqtura fihi ma yablughul masana, unless you put drops in there which reaches the bladder, then that will break the roza. وما يصل بغير قصد من غبار الطريق أو ذبابة تسبق إلى جوفه أو ما يسبق إلى جوفه في المضمضة فلا يفطر إلا إذا بالغ في المضمضة فيفطر لأنه مقصر. And if something reaches inside without intention, like the dust of the road or some fly, when you yawn, and fly went in your mouth and you swallowed it, then it does not break the fast. Similarly, something that goes in the mouth through kulli mazmaza does not break the fast. Now this is Shafi'i mazhab. Hanafi mazhab says it breaks the fast. When you're doing wudu, you know that you're fasting, and then you gargle heavily and your water goes down the throat, right? You feel nice, mashallah. So pani should not go down the throat. This is why he's saying illa idha balagha fil madmada fayuftiru. One does mubalagha and exaggerates in gargling, then roza will break. لأنه مقصر, because उसकी तरफ से कोताही हो रही है, is falling short, so roza will break. وهو الذي أردنا بقول عمدا فأما ذكر الصوم فأردنا به الاحتراز عن الناس فإنه لا يفطر. If a person forgot, then his roza will not break. You forgot that you're fasting and you drank water or you did kulli and water went down, then your roza will not break. Because there's a difference between forgetfulness and mistake. Forgetfulness is when something overcame your mind. Like Imam Sahib forgot to take the mic in Asr Namaz. That's forgetfulness. And khata is when you know, but you mistakenly do something else. Like when you're doing wuzu, you know you've got roza, but you gargle your mouth and by mistake, the water goes down the throat. So nisyan is maaf, khata is not maaf. Nisyan, if you forget, your roza doesn't break. But if you make mistake, then that will break the roza. Why did you make the mistake? You should have been careful. أما من أكل عامدا في طرفي النهار ثم ظهر له أنه أكل نهارا بالتحقيق فعليه القضاء. A person deliberately ate in one of the two parts and of the day, beginning or ending. Then it appeared that it was day, بالتحقيق, then he has to make قضاء. وإن بقي على حكم ظنه واجتهاده فلا قضاء عليه. If he remained on his overpowering thought and his ijtihad, then there will be no qaza on him. ولا ينبغي أن يأكل في طرفي النهار إلا بنظر واجتهاد. One should not eat on the two parts of the day except after careful consideration and careful thoughts. Meaning, in the morning, sahri time, if you ate and then you felt that, oh, तेरी mistake हो गई, sahri time to finish हो गया था, रोजा to start हो गया था, so you have to make qaza. Similarly, at iftar time, right? You opened your roza, you took that khajur and water, and the time had not yet started for iftar. You did it 5 minutes early. Your roza is broken. You will have to keep qaza. So on both ends, sahri as well, iftari as well, you have to be careful. Sahri, finish it a bit early. This is why we've kept in timetable 10 minutes before, because clocks can go back and forth. गड़बड़ हो सकती है, तो 10 मिनट इफ्तार उसमें सुबह सादिक से पहले finish your sahri. And iftar as well, we keep 3-4 minutes later than sunset. Mufti Shabir Sahib the other said, they said 5 minutes. Because the sun, if you watch on Google, it'll give you an iftar time. But Google gives iftar time according to the circumference, the round circle of the sun. As soon as it starts going down, they say it's sunset. But Islamic sunset is when the whole sun goes down. And that might take a few minutes, 2-3 minutes to go down. So after that, the sun will be classed as set, when the whole sun has disappeared. So ihtiyat is to keep 5 minutes and then open the roza. That's better. This is why we've kept some ihtiyat in 3-4 minutes in our timetable. الرابع الإمساك عن الجماع. The three things you got it. Wajib, necessary, to make sure the month has started. Number 2, to make niyat properly. And number 3, imsak, to withhold yourself from eating, drinking. Number 4, al-imsaku anil jima, to withhold yourself from jima and your private fulfilling your sexual desire, hambistry. وَحَدُّهُ مَغِيبُ الْحَشَفَةِ وَإِنْ جَامَعَ نَاسِيًا لَمْ يُفْتِرْ. And the had of it is the ghaybubat hashafa, disappearing of the private part into the other. Then it will be classed as jima. If a person did jima by mistake, then roza will not break. By forgetfulness, he forgot his roza and he did jima, roza will not break. وَإِنْ جَامَعَ لَيْلًا أَوْ احْتَلَمَ فَأَصْبَحَ جُنُبًا لَمْ يُفْتِرْ. If a person did jima by night, or he had a wet dream, and in the morning he woke up in the state of janabat, and he still got the need to do ghusl after subh sadiq, then his roza will not break. وَإِنْ طَلَعَ الْفَجْرُ وَهُوَ مُخَالِطٌ أَهْلَهُ فَنَزَعَ فِي الْحَالِ صَحَّ صَوْمُهُ فَإِنْ صَبَرَ فَسَدَ وَلَزِمَتْهُ الْكَفَّارَةُ. If subh sadiq appeared and he was still having jima and he stopped immediately, his roza will be correct. But if he continued, roza will be fasid and he will have to keep qaza and give kaffara of 2 months roza as well. Al-Khamis, al-imsaku anil istimna'i, to stop oneself from istimna, which means masturbation, extracting the semen by one's own deliberation, male or female. وهو إخراج المني قصدا بجماع أو بغير جماع فإن ذلك يفطر, and that is extracting the semen by jima or another means besides jima, because this breaks roza. ولا يفطر بقبلة زوجته, roza will not break by kissing the wife, ولا بمضاجعتها, nor by lying down with her, ما لم ينزل, as long as inzal, the ejaculation does not take place. لكن يكره ذلك إلا أن يكون شيخا أو مالكا لإربه. However, this qubla, kissing and lying together, is makruh unless if the person is an old man or he can control his desire. فلا بأس بالتقبيل, then for such an old person kissing would not be harmful. وتركه أولى, however to leave it is better. وإذا كان يخاف من التقبيل أن ينزل فقبل وسبق المني أفطر لتقصيره. If there was risk that by kissing ejaculation could take place and he still kissed and the semen extracted, ejaculated, his roza will break because of his falling short and his kotahi in the matter. However, only qaza will be necessary, not kafara. As-sadis al-imsaku an ikhraj al-qayy. The sixth is to stop oneself from extracting vomit deliberately. فَالْإِسْتِقَاءُ يُفْسِدُ الصَّوْمِ. Deliberate extraction of vomit breaks the fast. وَإِنْ ذَبَعَهُ الْقَيْءُ لَمْ يَفْسُدْ صَوْمُهُ. If the vomit came by itself, then roza will not break no matter how much it is. So if you either put your fingers in your mouth and rub your tongue and then make yourself vomit deliberately, then that will break the roza. But if it happened itself, then it won't break the roza. This is roza. There's a little bit of tafsir in there, but this is clear to understand. وَإِذَا ابْتَلَعَ نُخَامَةً مِنْ حَلْقِهِ أَوْ صَدْرِهِ لَمْ يَفْسُدْ صَوْمُهُ. If a person swallowed some phlegm from his throat or from his chest, then his roza will not break. رُخْصَةً لِعُمُومِ الْبَلْوَى بِهِ. This is the flexibility because most people are tested by this. إِلَّا أَن يَبْتَلِعُ بَعْدَ وُصُولِهِ إِلَى فِيهِ فَإِنَّهُ يُفْطِرُ عِنْدَ ذَلِكَ. If it came out to his mouth and then swallowed it, it will break. But this is Shafi'i mazhab. Hanafi mazhab is even if he came to your mouth and then you swallowed your own saliva or phlegm or balgam, it will not break. If you took it out of your mouth into your hand and then you swallowed it again, then it will break. There's a difference in there. So this is al-wajibatu zahira, 6 of them which Imam Ghazali has mentioned. Amma lawazimul iftar fa arba'atun. If you do break your roza, then it necessitates one of 4 things. Al-qaza wal-kaffara wal-fidya wa imsaku baqiyatin nahar tashbihan bis-sa'imin. Sometimes you have to give qaza if you break the roza. Other times you have to give kaffara as well. Other times you have to give fidya. And other times you have to stay hungry and thirsty for the rest of the day so that you can resemble those who are fasting. أما القضاء فوجوبه عام على كل مسلم مكلف ترك الصوم بغير عذر أو بعذر أو بغير عذر. Qaza is wajib generally upon every Muslim who is mukallaf from Allah, and he is grown up and he is able to keep roza. But he left roza by way of some excuse or without excuse. He didn't keep roza, didn't keep it at all. Then he has to keep qaza of it. فالحائض تقضي الصوم. Haiza will do qaza of the sawm. وكذا المرتد. Similar is the case of an apostate who became apostate during the day and then he came back to Islam in the evening. Then he has to keep qaza of that roza. وأما الكافر والصبي والمجنون فلا قضاء عليهم. A kafir who becomes Muslim, a small child who broke his roza or didn't keep it, a majnoon who didn't keep roza, there is no qaza on them. ولا يشترط التتابع في قضاء رمضان ولكن يقضي كيف شاء متفرقا ومجموعا. And in qaza Ramzan, continuous qaza is not shart. He can keep qaza however he wants, together or separate. मैं पीछे को कुरान जोर से पढ़ा, आहिस्ता पढ़ो या फिर दूसरे कमरे में जाके पढ़ो, इधर हमको डिस्टर्ब होता है. पहला मसला कौन सा बयान हो गया? कज़ा. ओके, यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन इज कज़ा इज नेसेसरी? जब रोजा नहीं रखा बिगिनिंग से तो बाद में कज़ा करे. हाइजा औरत कज़ा करे. कोई मुर्तद हो गया वापस मुसलमान हुआ, कज़ा करे. बाकी इसके अलावा काफिर, सभी, मजनून कज़ा नहीं करना है. वो मुसलमान है, उसने पिछले 50 साल के रोजे नहीं रखे, तो उसको थोड़ा 50 साल के रोजे कज़ा करे, वो अब मुसलमान हुआ. छोटा मासूम बच्चा है, मासूम बच्चा रोजा नहीं रखा उसने, उस पर कोई कज़ा वज़ा नहीं, मुकल्लफ ही नहीं. मजनून है, इनसेन है, दे डोंट हैव टू कीप कज़ा, दे आर माफ, अल्लाह की तरफ से मरफूल कलम है. सो उन पर कज़ा नहीं. And if someone keeps qaza of Ramzan, like he missed 10 rosas, then he doesn't have to keep 10 continuously. Right? He or she can separate them. Like Haiza, she goes to work, so she needs to do qaza. She can do qaza on every weekend, 2 weekend, one Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. She can separate the qaza, but she should try and do it as soon as possible. وَأَمَّا الْكَفَّارَةُ فَلَا تَجِبُ إِلَّا بِالْجِمَاعِ. Kafara will only be wajib by jima. وَأَمَّا الْإِسْتِمْنَا وَالْأَكْلُ وَالشُّرْبُ وَمَا عَدَى الْجِمَاعِ لَا يَجِبُ بِهِ كَفَّارَةٌ. As for istimna bil-yad, masturbation and eating, drinking anything besides jima, then kafara is not wajib with it. This is Shafi'i mazhab. Hanafi mazhab is, if you deliberately eat and break your roza, deliberately drink Pepsi and break your roza, don't only Pepsi, kuch aur pee liya, Andrew, and you break your roza, or you do hamistri and break your roza. In all cases, you have to keep qaza and kafara. Qaza 1 roza and 60 roza kafara. So don't break your roza by any means. Fal kafaratu, what is kafara? Itqu raqaba, freeing a slave. فَإِنْ أَعُعْسِرَ فَصَوْمُ شَهْرَيْنِ مُتَتَابِعَيْنِ. And if it is mushkil and hard, then keeping 2 months roza continuously, 60 roza. وَإِنْ عَجَزَ فَإِطْعَامُ 60 مِسْكِينًا مُدًّا مُدًّا. And if he is not able to keep the 2 months roza, then the third thing is to feed 60 miskeen 1 mud each. 1 mud of grains, khajur ya jaw ya barley या wheat, 60 मिस्कीन को देना. ये हम जो सदक़े फित्र है, how much is सदक़े फित्र this year is 4 pounds. So if you can't keep 1 roza and you want to give fidya is according to सदक़े फित्र. Kafara as well, feeding 1 poor miskin, 60 poor masakin for breaking 1 roza. So this is lawazimul iftar for qaza kafar. Then Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi talks about imsaku baqiyatin nahar and fidya. Imsaku baqiyatin nahar, remaining hungry, thirsty for the following, for the remainder of the day. فَيَجِبُ عَلَى مَنْ عَصَى بِالْفِطْرِ وَقَصَّرَ فِيهِ. A person who disobeyed Allah by breaking roza and then he realized, then he'll have to stay hungry, thirsty for the rest of the day. ولا يجب على الحائض إذا طهرت إمساك بقية نهارها ولا على المسافر إذا قدم مفطرا من سفر بلغ مرحلتين. A haiza who became park during the day, maybe at Zohar time, then it's not wajib for her to do imsak for the remainder of the day, nor upon musafir if he comes home and he was not keeping roza and he came back from safar. ويجب الإمساك إذا شهد بالهلال عدل واحد يوم الشك. والصوم في السفر أفضل بالفطر. Keeping roza in safar is better than iftar unless he can't keep it. ولا يفطر يوم يخرج وكان مقيما في أوله. A person should not do iftar and avoid roza on the day in which he is going to travel and when he was muqim in the beginning of the day, meaning at sahri time he is at home, his flight is at 12 o'clock in the afternoon zohar time. So that doesn't mean that he shouldn't keep roza that day. He should try and keep roza. What if the flight is cancelled? He'll miss his roza. So keep the roza, and then you open it when the time's up in your journey. If you're going eastward, तुम्हारा रोजा जल्दी पूरा हो जाएगा. If you're going west, तो रोजा लंबा हो जाएगा. मगर try and keep it. Keep the roza to the best of your ability. If it's a struggle and you're dying of hunger and thirst, then you can break it because you are majboor then, and then you can keep qaza of it later on. But keep your roza if you are going to travel during the day, but at sahri time you're still at home. وأما الفدية فتجب على الحامل والمرضي إذا أفطرتا خوفا على ولديهما لكل يوم مد حنطة لمسكين واحد مع القضاء والشيخ الهرم إذا لم يصد تصدق عن كل يوم مدا. Fidya, then it is on hamil and murdi. When they do not keep roza for fear on their child, then they should give fidya of 1 mud of hinta, wheat, for every miskin, along with qaza. This is Shafi Mazhab. Hanafi Mazhab, she doesn't need to give fidya. She just needs to make qaza later on. Hamil and murdi, doodh pilane wali, or hamila, pregnant. If they can't keep roza, then they just keep qaza later on when they are healthy, when they regain their health. But Shafi Mazhab is, they have to give fidya as well and then keep qaza. A Shaykhul Harim, an age-old man, he is not able to fast, then he will give sadaqah of every day for 1 mud, which we mentioned, 4 pounds, 5 pounds if you can give. For 30 roza, give 150 pounds if you can to masakin, distribute it among them, that will be your fidya. These are wajibatul sawm and lawazimul iftar as mentioned by Imam Ghazali. Wa amma sunan fasittun, 6 sunnat Imam Ghazali has mentioned. We'll read them tomorrow. The sunnats of roza. थोड़ी देर कुरान शरीफ पढ़ लो. उसके बाद गजाली जाएंगे असरारुस सौम शुरूतुल बातिना के अंदर, वो बात पढ़ेंगे इंशाअल्लाह. सुभानअल्लाह बिहम्दिही सुभानकल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिका नशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुका व नतूबु इलैक. कुछ समझ में आया बच्चों? डू यू अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग? डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड? माशाअल्लाह, गुड बॉयज. चलो.